Good afternoon, everyone. Today we are going to discuss about operating system and types of operating system. First of all, coming to the definition of operating system. An operating system acts as an interface between the software and the different parts of the computer or the computer hardware. That is, what it acts as an interface between the user and the computer hardware system. The instructions which are given by the user are taken by the operating system and passed it to the respective hardware. That is the work of the operating system. Here, this is a structure of the components of the computer, which is divided into four parts. One is the user, next system and application program, followed by operating system and the hardware. The instructions which are given by the user are taken by compiler, assemblers, text editor, or database system. They are passed to the system and application programs, which are received by the operating system and passed to the respective hardware components. So, how the instruction gets executed. So, according to the definition, operating system acts as an interface, that is, as a mediator between the user and the hardware components. This is the definition of operating system. Next, coming to types of operating system. Operating system types of operating system. Here, this is a structure or the types of operating system. We are having simple batch operating system, multi-programming operating system, time-sharing operating system, multi-processor operating system, multitasking operating system, real-time operating system, distributed operating system, and network operating system. Now we will discuss one by one in detail. First, coming to batch operating system. This batch operating system was implemented in the year 1970. Okay, so these batch operating systems works in such a way that all the tasks which are to be performed by the operating system are stored in the form of a batch, like you can see here. And these jobs are transferred to the operating system. So in this batch operating system, all the jobs are stored and one after the other jobs are transferred to the operating system one after the other. So the operating system will be busy with particular job at one time. Till the job completes, the operating system cannot switch to the next job. So until the operating system completes the first job, the next job has to wait for its execution. So this is how the operating system executes various jobs in the batch operating system. So what are the advantages of these batch operating system are? It improves the efficiency as it eliminates CPU to execute two jobs at a time. That is, it performs only one particular job at a time. Coming to the disadvantages, first disadvantage is starvation. That is, when CPU is busy with first job, till it completes its job, the next job has to wait. That is, then if there are n jobs in a batch, if CPU is busy with first job, the other n jobs have to be under waiting state. That is, they are under starvation. They are waiting to be executed till CPU releases the job one. This is the disadvantage of batch processing system. And another disadvantage is every job is independent on each other. They are not dependent on any other job. That is, there is no interaction between the two jobs in this batch operating system. So, in order to remove these disadvantages, we have the next operating system called as the multi-programming operating system. So, in this multi-programming operating system, where CPU is kept busy every time with any of the other process. That is, CPU will be executing multiple processes at a time. Here you can see this is our secondary memory. This is our CPU. So every time the jobs from the secondary memory are transferred into the main memory, and from where they are passed into the CPU and the execution is performed. So every time CPU will be busy with any of the other programming and performs multiple programs at a time. This is the multi-programming operating system. Okay, coming to the advantages of multi-programming operating system is it increases the CPU response time. It increases the CPU throughput. That is, every time CPU is busy with any of the other process, which increases the throughput of the CPU. And response time, that is waiting time for every process, is reduced, where it can execute multiple processes at a time. Coming to the disadvantages, multi-programming operating system provides an environment where various system resources are used efficiently, but user interaction with the computer system is not there. That is, the process when it is executing, it uses multiple resources efficiently, but user is not able to interact with it. That is a disadvantage of multi-programming operating system. So next we have multi-processing operating system, which is also called as parallel computing. In this multiprocessor operating system, which can execute more than one process at a same time. Here, as you can see, here multiprocessor CPU will be having multiple processors which will be executing multiple programs at a time simultaneously using these different processors. So these multiprocessors are of two types. They are symmetric multiprocessors, asymmetric multiprocessors. Okay, in symmetric multiprocessors, all the processes are executed simultaneously and without any waiting. In asymmetric multiprocessing system, they are executed in one after the other. So these are the two types of multiprocessor operating system. Coming to the advantages of multiprocessor operating system is it has the increased reliability. That is, it provides multiple reliability. That is, if one processor fails, the process can be executed by using another processor, which is increasing the reliability. Then it has increased throughput. As it has multiple processors, the work can be done in a very less time, which increases the throughput of the CPU. The disadvantages are it is very difficult and complex to maintain this multiprocessor CPU. So the next we have the multitasking operating system. In this multitasking operating system, it is responsible to perform multiple tasks simultaneously, enables multiple programs simultaneously. That is, user can perform more than one task at a time. Like here, single operating system is performing Word application, browser application, and email. So these are the three processes which are performed by the single operating system which is present in the CPU. So the multitasking operating systems are again of two types: primitive multitasking, cooperative multitasking. Coming to the disadvantages and advantages of this multitasking operating system is here advantages are it is supporting multiple users simultaneously because it can perform multiple programs at a time. And this multitasking operating system should have a well-defined memory management. The disadvantages are since it is a multitasking operating system, it should have multiple processors to execute this multitasking and which generates more heat. This is the disadvantage of multitasking operating system. Next type of operating system is the network operating system. In this network operating system, there is a single server which is communicated with all the other client operating systems. Okay, it is a network established operating system which is very cost effective and can be used for the communication purpose from one, one client to other client. Here, network operating systems are peer-to-peer systems or client and server system. Peer-to-peer system means every client has an interaction with each other. This is called as peer-to-peer operating system. Whereas client-server operating system is we have only a single server to which all the clients are connected. Clients are all communicated with each other with the help of the server. This is a client-server operating system. Coming to the advantages and disadvantages of network operating system are, network operating system will manage the traffic and reduces the traffic which are occurred due to the client and server. And it is very less expensive and it is easy to set up and maintain. The disadvantage of this network operating system is if there is any failure in any of the node, the entire system gets failed. If there is a failure in the server, then the entire system gets failed. So this is one of the disadvantage of the network operating system, and also security issues comes under the disadvantage of network operating system. Next is a real-time operating system. In this real-time operating system, each job which is performed by the operating system is performed with a deadline. That is, every process is allotted with a particular time slot. Along with that time slot, the operating system is going to be executing the process. Like we are having two types of real-time operating systems. They are hard real-time operating system, soft real-time operating system. That is, hard real-time operating system will give guarantee for the process to we get executed in that particular time which is allotted to it. Whereas soft real-time operating system will not give any guarantee about the execution of the process in that particular time. So coming to the advantages and disadvantages of real-time operating system are, it is easy to maintain and easy to set up, and it will execute the real-time applications, and it maximum utilizes the devices and the systems. The disadvantages of this real-time operating system is it is complex and costlier to develop. Next is the time-sharing operating system. Time-sharing operating system, the resources are allotted to the process by a particular time slot. They are executed in that particular time slot. So it allows many users to be served simultaneously so that input and output management are required very easily. Disadvantages and advantages of this time sharing operating system are, it provides effective utilization and sharing of resources to every process equally, and it reduces the idle time of the CPU. These are the advantages and disadvantages of time sharing operating system. Next is the distributed operating system. In this distributed operating system, single operating system is distributed among different machines. That is, the parts of a single system are distributed among multiple other different machines. Distributed operating system is very complex to be developed. Okay, it requires network, and mainly the advantage of this distributed operating system is it provides sharing of resources, and it also tolerates the fault which has occurred in the system. The disadvantages are it is having a computational cost. It has a over computational cost. So these are all the types of operating system which are used in our real time. Next topic is about the structure of operating system. There are many structures for operating system, but here we go along with two structures. One is a simple structure and the other one is a layered structure. In the simple structure, the operating system is divided into application programs, system programs, MS-DOS device drivers, and the ROM BIOS device drivers. It is moduled into different parts. So this modular structure will allow the programmers to hide the information required and implement the changes which are occurred in the specifications. Next is a layered structure. In the layered structure, the operating system is layered with different layers. That is from layer N to layer N-1. Layer N-1 is the existing operation and layer N is the new operation which has to be performed. These are the two structures of operating system. Now, as the operating system plays a very important role in the computer part or in the computer system, it has different components like process management, file management, network management, main memory management, secondary storage management, input-output device management, security management, and command interpreter system. So, operating system helps to perform or execute the process by using all these components. Next is the, so first we are going to discuss about the process management. So process management is one of the major component in the operating system, which is responsible to manage the running of the many processes simultaneously. That is, execution of multiple processes are performed simultaneously with the help of the component called as process management. So, it is responsible to create the process or delete the process, suspend the process or resumption the process, synchronization the process, and communication between the process. When the process is executed, the process information is stored in 4 registers. That is, program counter register, which stores the next instruction, stack register, which is a collection of different instructions, heap register, which keep tracks of all the registers required for the process execution, data register, which contains the information about the local and the global variables. So this is how process management is a component in the operating system responsible to execute the process in the system. Next is the file management. File management is one of the component in operating system which is responsible to represent the files in the operating system. The main function of file management is to create a directory or a file or delete a file directory or a file, or manipulate the existing files or directories, or store the files in the secondary memory, or backup the files in the storage media. These are the responsibilities of file management as a component in the operating system. Next is the network management. So network management is a process which is used to administrate and manage the computer network. So this component in operating system is responsible to manage the performance of the operating system in the distributed system, as we have number of resources and functions. So all these are managed and maintained with the help of this network management. Next, distributed system also offers the user to access various resources in the network share. It keeps shared resources to be allowed to be compatible with other systems or resources which are available in the network. Next is a main memory management component. So this component is a large storage of files. So it is responsible to read or write the files in the memory. Here, CPU is directly accessed with the help of this main memory. Like here, the data or the process, whatever are stored in the secondary memory, are swapped in and swapped out into the main memory to execute the task. So the main functions of this memory management component is to keep track of all the process in the memory and to execute it. In case of multi-programming, operating system decides how much memory to be allotted to that particular process. It allocates the memory to the process, and after completion, it deallocates the memory from the process. This is the function of the main memory management in the operating system. Next is the secondary storage management. So every data cannot be stored in the main memory during after its execution. So in order to store the data, we are taking a component called as the secondary storage management, which is used to store the programs or the process. So the responsibility of this secondary storage management is to storage allocation and at the same time to free the memory management space, and also disk scheduling. That is how the process are executed one after the other. So these are the responsibilities of this secondary storage management. Next, coming to IO device management, that is input output device management. So this component in operating system is used to hide various hardware device, execute the variations of the hardware device. That is, during the execution of a process, if the process is in requirement of any of the input or output device that are provided to that process in the memory with the help of this component called as input output device management. The main function of this input output device management is to of is to provide device when required to the process, okay, and know the individualities of the specific device, then as a buffer to store all the input devices which are allocated to the process. So it keeps a track of all the information about the input and output management. Next is the security management. So the main responsibility of this component called as security management is to provide security for the files or the memory which is in the computer. That is to give the proper authorization. Here, the main responsibility of the security management is to increase the reliability by finding out the interfaces, errors, and the interfaces between the components and the subsystems, and to provide authentication for only the authorized persons. This is what is the responsibility of the security management in operating system. Next is the command interpreter operating system. So this operating system acts as an interface between the user and the system. Whatever the instruction the user is given are given to the operating system in the form of a control statements are passed to the operating system with the help of this command interpreter. So this is responsible to execute the commands. So these are the different types of operating systems and the components of operating system.